So first let's talk about globalization. Globalization is a process of interaction, integration among people, companies, and governments of different nations around the world. This is a process given by trade, which I will explain later, and investment. The process, of course, has effects in the environment, on culture, political and economic systems, prosperity, and just overall um, human well-being around the world. Globalization is a term that has been used for a really long time now. People, corporations, and just overall groups have been buying and selling to each other from great distances from thousands of years ago. From China and Europe during the Middle Ages to the First World War in 1914. Okay, the policy and technological developments of the past few decades been have made possible the globalization that we now know. Globalization as we now know it, which means that almost everyone has access to brands and just products from other parts of the world, which is really amazing. But of course, this has its downsides.
Now I will quickly talk about the positive and negative aspects of globalization. Some of the positive aspects are that the money is poured into developing countries, which means that they have a greater chance of being a better country to grow. Global competition makes leadership and creativity and innovation and gives better prices. Governments are also able to work together and form policies in order to make sure that their products are delivered all around the world. Now, some negative aspects are that some cultures melt when products or just overall culture from other country gets into their country. Now, this is a really serious problem because I countries are lacking identity. Now, another pretty important point about globalization is that it may take jobs. If you take a company that's in some country and you move it to another country, then some of the jobs may be lost. Now let's take a quick look to the meaning of trade. Trade is a transfer of goods or services from one person or entity to another, often in exchange for money. The World Trade Organization is the largest international economic organization in the world. It is an intergovernmental organization that regulates international trade. It was officially commenced on the 1st of January in 1995 under the Marrakesh Agreement. It was signed by 123 nations on April 15, 1994. This with several things like the regulation of trading goods, services, and intellectual property between the participating countries. That provides a framework for trade. As I said before, it is the largest economic organization in the world and it has had a lot of impact in our past. The Digital Revolution refers to a part of time in the 80s where we advanced from analog technology to digital technology. Regarding the advantages and disadvantages of the digital revolution, there is really not a disadvantage. Of course, they were when they initially happened, but right now it was a necessary change for humanity to take the next step. And don't get me wrong, internet and all the other technologies have a lot of problems and have brought security failures and privacy especially. It was an unstoppable change. Now it's finally time to talk about terrorism. Terrorism is the systematic use of violence to create a climate of fear in population and in people, usually for political uses or just to show your ideologies, as we have seen with ISIS. On the matter of technology and terrorism, we have seen a leaning to the bad things of terrorism with technology, as we have seen with cyber terrorism and with people manipulating the poll. Advances on this matter must and will be made.